roll it on the floor and lie on your roller. So first of all, get yourself as cozy as you can lying on the roller. Whether that means you're asymmetrical on the roller or symmetrical on the roller is of no consequence to me. Just get yourself cozy there. Marianne, that hasn't got a tube in it. It's really soft. Are you happy with that? Yeah, there's a red one right there. And you'll feel the difference when you get on it, right? Sorry. A bit different? Yeah. That one's too cruisy, man. Okay. Now, bend your legs, stand your feet, and now get re-cozy yourself in this new scenario. So let's find out how many ways are there to slide off that roller with the same quality. You know, yesterday when you were, I said climb onto your roller and then climb off your roller. How can you just kind of like slither off it inside of kind of like a sequence? Begin to tilt your left leg to the left and let that lead you into coming off your roller. And find a way to slink off. Slinky, slinky. Observe the process of coming off. And then, when you found the floor, climb back on board. Slinky. Should you find yourself holding your breath, make a choice about it. Now start to tilt both legs to the right and use that as a way of motivating rolling off the roller. Now, all the time, gravity is wanting to have its way with you. It wants to accelerate you towards the ground. 32 feet per second square. Getting faster. So, see if you can climb back on board your roller again. How many breath cycles does it take to climb on board? Now, roll your head sideways and let the rolling of your head take you off the roller. And have a bit of a negotiation with gravity. Make a bargain. I'll let you pull me this fast and you give me permission to just slink. And then climb on board again. Now, that right hip joint of yours, you know where the head of the femur is, the end of the thigh? Take that forwards. Take it forwards. Take it forwards. Keep taking it forwards until gravity has you and it says, you're coming with me now. But remember, you've struck a bargain with gravity. That's it. Slink your way off the roller and then climb back on board. Wonderful. Get yourself cozy. Now, unless you're suspended in water, on planet Earth, gravity is always just waiting to take you down. Take your right arm and put it across to your left. At what moment does gravity become irresistible? In a nice way. Just like some people I know, they're irresistible. You really like being around them. Slink your way off the roller, and then once you've tasted the ground and the solidity of the ground, oh, climb back on board. Now, you find 3 more ways to take yourself off that roller, to let gravity have its way with you. Make a choice. Yeah. First, make a choice. Then make a decision. Choice, decision, enact your decision. That's simple. Yeah, that's nice. Flop, flop, flop. Now you know, now you're remembering what it's like to be a baby. Because babies are not that far from the ground. They can afford to go flop. When you're an adult, you've got a little bit further to go. Yeah. So how many have you done? 1, 2, 3, how many? Now, I'm going to make a hypothesis. It might not be true, okay? So don't think that this is true. There's something else that babies have in their favor. They haven't quite yet developed an ego. Yeah? They're not invested. They're not invested in whether they do it well or they don't do it well, whether someone's looking or not looking. All right. Nice flop. Is your name Fosbury? Now, the next time you're on your roller, stay there. Stay there. Beautiful. Now, let's check out a few details. So now that you know what it's like to, slip and slide off a roller, maybe even flop off a roller, let's look at a few details. Take your attention to your face. Feel around the eyes, the state of the musculature around the eyes, between the eyebrows, around the eyelids. And ask yourself, do you feel wide across the eyes or do you feel narrow? Whatever those words mean for you. I mean, it's a funny way to talk about it anyway. Do you feel spacious across the eyes or do you feel constricted? What about if you take your attention to the mouth with the same set of questions? If you notice the muscles around the mouth, from corner to corner, from mouth to nose, and from mouth to chin. What's the landscape like around there? Is it dense? Is it spacious? Is it wide? Is it narrow? What about that area that you call your forehead? Depending on how much hair you either have a big forehead or small forehead. What's the muscular state there? If someone was to touch your skin on your forehead, would there be a lot of movement of the skin over the bone, or would it be as tight as a drum? What's your sense of it? Now return to your eyes, and from the state that you're in, think of your eyes, instead of being wide, gather them together a little bit more so that there's less space. It's a little bit more condensed in the muscles around the eyes, in the eyelids. And then whatever you've just created, you can stop. Stop it. And notice what happens when you stop. When you stop making that constriction. How you feel it just going, oh. Now switch from the eyes to the mouth and do the same thing. Make the muscles around the mouth a little denser, a little narrower. I'm sure you know some people with those very narrow lips. It's like they've just sucked on a lemon. And then because you've created that intentionally, you can stop it. Just let the lips return to whatever state you started in, and that'll be different. Now, what about the forehead? Crinkle the skin on your forehead. And when you crinkle the skin on your forehead, what happens to your eyes? What happens to the mouth? And now because you've intentionally crinkled the skin on your forehead, uncrinkle it. Feel what happens in the rest of your face. Now, once again, I'm going to invite you to visit each of those three areas, but with another layer. Here's the extra layer. Pay attention to the rise and fall of your breath. The in-breath, the out-breath, the in-breath, the out-breath, the passage of air through your nostrils, down through your throat. Some of you will actually be able to sense that air going all the way into the trachea. It's really fascinating how far down we can sense that air flowing and coming out. Now, once you've attuned yourself to that in-breath and out-breath, to the flow, to the ebb and tide of your breathing, now once again, crinkle up your forehead. What happens with your breathing? Uncrinkle your forehead. Condense your eyes, narrow your eyes. What happens with your breathing? Uncondense, make your eyes spacious and wide. The eyelids, the muscles around the eyes, the space between the eyebrows. What happens with your breathing? And now narrow your mouth. Condense the lips. Above the nose, between the lips and the chin. What happens with your breathing? And some of you will also notice certain things happening with your throat and all other things, but let's just keep it simple. Okay, now let that be. Let the mouth return. And now that you've done those little movements with your face and you've paid attention to your breathing, what's it like to be on the roller? Has something changed in your experience of lying on the roller? As much as you can, direct yourself, like you did this morning with the little turnings of the head, direct yourself to keep the face as it is, without crinkling the forehead, without condensing the eyes, without, over muscling the lips, so that the breathing can stay free. Yeah, so that's how you're directing yourself. And begin to roll your head to the left and return to the middle. Should you find your head crinkling, your eyes condensing, your mouth condensing, your breathing changing, stop. In other words, inhibit, return. And you go ahead, roll your head side to side like that, playing that game. And it really just is a game. And the moment you sense something twitching in your face to get more dense, less spacious, you say to yourself, I notice you, I see you, I feel you. No, I'd rather not. And you just simply return. Bring your head to the middle. Take your attention to your right foot. Leave the heel of the right foot on the floor and begin to lift the forefoot from the floor and put it back down again. And engage in that same process. Should you feel your breathing becoming contradicted, should you experience your facial musculature starting to contract, inhibit, stop, recompose yourself, start again. Wonderful. Continue doing what you're doing with that right foot. Lifting the forefoot, putting it down, and now add something to it. At the same time you lift the forefoot, lift the left heel. So the two things happen together. As the right forefoot lifts, the left heel lifts, and then they touch the ground together. Same principles. Should you feel the face contracting, say, not today. I'm not buying today. I'll recompose myself. Come back. Mm-hmm. Now develop that. The next time that your left heel is lifted and your right forefoot is lifted, swap it over completely so that the right heel is lifted and the left forefoot is lifted. And go back and forth between the two. Keep noticing your face. Are the eyes free of any excess muscle tension? Excess, bless you. Excess in this case just means more than is usually there. So we're not trying to make it any less, although that might happen. It's just more than's usually there. Now stop the feet. Notice the way the left hand lies on the floor. And now begin to lighten that left hand and arm off the floor. You don't have to take it off. Just start to lighten it a little bit away from the floor. Check your breathing. Check the eyes. Check the forehead, the mouth. Any other muscles around there? Oh, yeah, the tongue. That's a big one. That's a huge muscle, actually. What's happening with that tongue? Now, when you return your left arm completely to the floor, take the right arm and lighten it from the floor. So you're now alternating, lightening the left arm, down, lightening the right arm, down. Should you choose to completely lift the arms off the floor, that's your choice. It's your choice. Now, the next time that your right arm is off the floor, begin to lighten your right foot from the floor. And when the left arm is lightening from the floor, begin to lighten your left foot from the floor. Be awake. Be awake to your breathing. Be awake to the sensation of your face. Should any excess muscle tension appear in your mouth, in your forehead, in your eyes, in your nostrils, stop what you're doing, inhibit it, recompose yourself, and start again. Wonderful. Now switch over the arms and the legs. So when your right arm is lightening from the floor, lighten your left foot from the floor. And when your left arm is lightening from the floor, lighten your right foot from the floor. So this is a diagonal pattern. And I am absolutely sure that many of you are aware of what's happening with the roller underneath you and how it's shifting with every shift of your weight. Wonderful. Stop and rest. If you'd like to rest on the roller, rest on the roller. If you want to like slink off the roller and feel what it's like to come off the roller, do that. We'll have a bit of a break. Wherever you're resting at this time, bring your attention to your mouth and deliberately press the lips a little firmer together, as if you're trying to crush a grape between your lips, trying to get the juice out of the grape and just squeeze it. Feel what happens to your jaw when you do that. Feel what happens to the musculature around your nostrils. Do your nostrils flare or do your nostrils constrict? And when you stop squashing that grape, what's the feeling of stopping? If you linger with that feeling a little longer, notice what it develops into. What happens with the distance between the teeth? Where does that chin go in space? What happens with the corners of the mouth? What does the tongue, where does that go to within the space of the mouth? Now climb back on your roller. Place your arms folded across your chest. And in this new arrangement of your limbs, now roll your head a little bit to one side and return. And then to the other side and return. And notice how the roller responds to the motion of your head. And then also notice your breathing, what's happening in your mouth, in the lips, with the tongue, the space between the teeth. The ears, that's a funny place because that's actually where the jaw joint is. The place that your jaw hinges from is right near your ears. Some of you might start to experience sounds changing if your jaw starts to change its muscular level of tension. Bring your head to the middle. Lift your left foot off the floor. Put it down. Do that at least 5 times. And catch yourself. Do you do anything strange with your eyes, your forehead, your nostrils, your mouth, your tongue, the muscles around your ears, your breathing? Is it possible to catch yourself desiring to stay on the roller at all costs? Thank you. This is how a lot of us get into trouble. I'll be the first to put up my hand. Desiring something at all costs, including yourself. So when you catch yourself, inhibit. And when you inhibit, you might be at that balance point that you just slink off the roller. Let it happen and observe the process. That's a nice sound. I like that sound, Lucky. What's the sound of one man rolling? Now, what about that right foot? Go ahead and lift that right foot off the floor and put it down. How much are you willing to contort yourself to do that? Are you willing to contort yourself so much that your breathing, the quality of your breathing changes? And if you are, is it worth it? Is what you're investing in that contortion worth it? It could be yes. My job depends on it. I'm doing this audition and I need to do this. Then the answer might be yes. If you're doing a job interview, the answer might be yes. It might be worthwhile for a moment or two holding your breath in anticipation of the next question. And you contort yourself in anticipation. It might be worth it. It might be not worth it. Now alternate. Lift the right leg, put it down. Lift the left leg, put it down. Marching, 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 marching. Ha, 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 ha. If you hear yourself making that sound, you know you're stopping your breath, because every ha ends in a breath stop, by the way. Ha, that's a breath stop. Ha, ha. Oh, another winner. Now keep lifting one leg, keep lifting the other, and when you want to, unfold one of your arms away from your chest sideways and then bring it back. But you keep lifting, lowering, lifting, lowering, lifting, lowering, lifting, lowering. Dooba, 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 dooba. And then you unfold one arm out to the side and you bring it back. Now you can make that as slow as you like, or you know chameleons, how they flick their tongue to catch something. They kind of got this little curly tongue and it goes flick. You can flick your arm fast, flick it out and bring it back. That's it. How many chameleons do we have in this room? Oh, there's one. Did you get your fly? Maybe it was more interesting. Maybe it was a little ladybird. Oh, that's so sad. A little ladybird, sad. Now, alternate flicking an arm out or unfurling an arm and furling it back in. So there's the flick and then there's the furl. And you alternate, once the one arm, once the other arm, and all the time you're lifting one foot and lifting the other foot and lifting one foot and lifting the other foot, and then you go, ooh, ooh. Nice. How's that face going? Any funny things happening with those eyes? Any nostrils flaring? How are the tongues? Has your tongue found a firm spot on the top of your palate to press on? What about your breathing? How's that going? Beautiful. Now, intentionally roll yourself off the roller and just be off the roller for a little while. Feel what it's like. When was it? I graduated from the Victorian College of the Arts in 1984, and luckily enough got 2 years work with the Australian Opera, but of course then that work dried up. So I went over to New Zealand and auditioned for the New Zealand Ballet Company, and they were so sweet. They said to me, "Oh, we don't have a place at the moment," which I knew was okay, yeah, yeah. And they said, "But we are going on tour. You're most welcome to come in the bus with us." Cool. An unpaid holiday. I didn't have to. Now, the unfortunate part is I had to get on that ferry that goes from Wellington across to Picton. Oh my God. That had to be the roughest sea ride I have ever had in my life. I get very seasick, so I was just hanging off the rails and every now and then going, heave ho, heave ho. Now, what was curious was not that I got seasick, I knew that was going to happen, was when I got to the other side and I had to go to the bathroom for number twos, and I sat in that cubicle with the doors closed, I could swear that that cubicle was moving. It was like, you got to be kidding. It was like a trip. It was moving, but I knew in my mind, I knew it wasn't moving, but it was damn moving. So when you're lying on the floor, having been on the roller, what's the experience that's present for you? Does it tell you something about how we construct consistency in our life? Climb back upon that roller elegantly. Okay. Now, you know, with tightrope walkers, so not slack rope walkers, but tightrope walkers will very often hold this very long pole to the right and to the left. And it helps to balance them because it gives them a great feel. Now, could you please make something like that with your arms? So take your arms out to the side. If it's better for you with the palms up, palms up. If it's better for you with the palms towards the floor, palms towards the floor, and use your arms like a tightrope walker would use a pole. Your hands are off the floor, off the floor. They're not on the floor. They're off the floor. That's it. They're off the floor. Lift the right foot from the floor and move it around in space. Take it wherever you want. You can take it to the left of the left leg. You can take it above the left leg. You can take it underneath the left leg. You can draw your name in the air. You can fall off the roller. Yay! Wonderful. Switch legs. Check out the mouth. Check out the nostrils, the eyes, the forehead, the breathing. Sense how you're doing a dance with this roller. Yeah. Through your motion, you are actually rolling the roller around underneath you. Wonderful. Now leave your foot on the ground, leave both feet on the ground. And now with that right arm, you go ahead and wiggle it around anywhere you like. The left arm is still out to the side, off the ground. You can even tickle your left armpit if you want. Scratch your left palm. Yeah. Good. Switch over the arms. Nice. Beautiful. Wiggle both arms, but don't make it symmetrical. It's like two young siblings And one sibling says to the other, "You're always copying me. Stop copying." That's it. Don't copy me. Wonderful. Now keep the arms going. Don't stop the arms. Now, if you'd like to conduct an orchestra, please do. Conduct the orchestra in your mind. Make it the best orchestra in the world. If you're going to conduct the best. And now lift the right foot off the ground. Just don't stop conducting. Hey, you, piccolo. A little bit spot on with the timing there. Come on. Hey, you, cellos. Listen up here. Yeah. Now, what about the other foot? There's a great Bugs Bunny cartoon where Bugs Bunny conducts the orchestra. Have you seen that one? And the fly comes along. That's a great cartoon. Yeah. All right. Now, keep conducting with your arms. Bop, 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 bom. Bop, 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 bom. And lift one foot, put it down, lift the other foot, put it down. Congratulations. You've joined the 6-inch fall club. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, he's fallen in the water. Some of you are getting really good at getting back on that roller, by the way. It's just like effortless. You kind of just glide on up. It's beautiful. Now, something more dramatic. Put the arms on the floor. Put the feet on the floor. And listen to yourself settling. Whatever that word means for you. I know those of you who've been parents, you come out of your child's bedroom and you go, oh, thank God they've settled. What's it feel like to settle? And I don't mean settle so much that you go to sleep, just that you find your breath and you find, that's an interesting feeling in my face. Bye, Lucky. Okay, so something now more dramatico. Lift both arms at the same time. Put them down. Lift both legs at the same time. Now, please make sure that you've got your legs positioned in a place that they're not going to, pull on your lower back and create problems there, yeah? Lift your arms, lower them. Lift your legs, lower them. Yep. Top, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom. Wonderful. Nice. Lift the legs, lower them. Lift the arms, lower them. Lift the head, lower it. Legs, arms, head. Legs, arms, head. Yo, man. You a rapper. I'll unwrap you. That's it. Now, what about head, arms, legs? Head, arms, legs. Oh, tricky. Head, arms, legs. 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 Like a ripple passing through you. Head, arms, legs. Nice. Now, legs, arms, head. Legs, arms, head. Wonderful. Now, all 5 together at once. Yay, that's it. That moment of suspension, enjoy it. There's a moment that you're just like, oh my God, I'm doing it. And then all of a sudden, oh. Hey, yeah. Nice. Nice. All five. All five. All five. Poof. I know, it's pretty cool, huh? Nice. Beautiful. Rest for a little bit and we'll do one more variation. And then I think it's time to say goodbye. Oh, yeah. Climb upon your roller. Slink yourself up there. Take hold of your right knee with your right hand. Put your left hand behind your head. Bring your right elbow towards your left knee. Bye. Thank you. Yeah, do that a few times. You know that old boring ATM? Yeah. Suddenly, it ain't so boring anymore. Are you being the door person, Lisa? Oh, that's so sweet of you. You know, I used to be a doorman at the Menzies Rialto, the night shift. You're the what? Can I repeat that? Isn't that an interesting, like you've done that on the floor so many times and here you are on a roller and there's a whole novel situation. How do you move yourself so that the balance stays there, but you're ready to fall off if you need to? So you don't actually have to grip anything. Yeah. Switch over the hands. So you've got the other diagonal. And I got to say, I have to thank you very, very much for all your wonderful participation this 2 weeks. It's been excellent. And most of all, for playing the way you're playing in this lesson. It's beautiful to watch. Now, what would happen if you held the left knee with the right hand and put your left hand behind your head and took the left elbow to the left knee? Ooh, some of you like this better. Yeah. I know. Until you jinx, jinx, jinx. It depends on your tactic. If you're like me, when I do this variation, I tend to do a little bit of side bending, you know? Yeah, now switch sides. And what's really precious that you're discovering is how with every move of a limb, you have to find your balance again. The smallest displacement of a limb changes how your weight is distributed through yourself, and you just accommodate, you accommodate, you accommodate. It's amazing. We really are amazing creatures that we can do this and not have to be occupied mentally with it 100%. It's incredible. We can be standing at the bus stop waiting for the bus and not even have to think about our standing. You can be walking down the street with your friend having a fantastic conversation about the cake you've just eaten, and you're walking and you don't even have to think that you have to stay balanced. Now, whether that's God who makes it do it or your nervous system that makes it do it, who cares? It's still amazing. Beautiful. Now, let everything return. Your arms to the floor, your feet to the floor. Let yourself find the roller. And now do the subtlest of things. Shift your tongue to move into the left cheek and feel what happens. Bring your tongue to the middle of your mouth. Now shift your tongue and move it into the right cheek. Feel what happens. Your tongue is moving left and right. Your tongue is a muscle. It has quite a substantial bit of weight to it. And depending on how you've arranged your limbs, it'll move you. If you've got your limbs really, really far apart, it won't. Or you won't detect it. So maybe take your arms across your chest. Maybe rest one foot on top of the other. No, don't cross the legs, just rest one foot on top of the other. And now take your tongue left and right. It could be that your tongue is influencing your head. Who knows? Now let your tongue roll you off the roller. And stay lying on the floor, off the roller, on your back, and feel what that's like. Beautiful. Beautiful. For some of you, it'll make you appreciate how good it is to have a ground underneath you that is predictable. For others, you might start craving the aliveness that comes from being on a roller. If you can find the balance between the two, that's a very interesting life. Please come up to standing and feel what it's like to stand. Feel what it's like to experience yourself having done what you've just done. Alrighty. Fantastic. May you all be well and safe until we meet again. Ciao, ciao.